the key to the second law lab is to have a good understanding of Newton's first law, which is the law of inertia. The law of inertia says that objects in motion stay in motion, objects at rest stay at rest, blah, blah, blah. But really what we're learning from the law of inertia is what the role of mass is in an experiment. So the law of inertia says something pretty specific about mass. It says that mass resists changes to its state of motion, and the point would be that mass could have inertia whether or not it's in a gravity field. Let me say that again. The fact that mass has inertia or resistance to its changes in its state of motion says nothing about gravity. Now it turns out that here in our second law lab, we're of course doing this experiment on planet Earth where there is a gravity field. So mass will also, when you put it in a gravity field, generate weight. But that's not really, that's sort of a subset of the behavior of mass. In other words, if you think about the fact that the washers that are on the cart do in fact generate weight, that's great, but that's not their primary role in this experiment. The washers that are hanging out on the car, they contribute inertia, but their weight is sort of irrelevant. Of course they have weight, but it's their inertia that is contributing to their behavior in this experiment because their job is to resist the acceleration provided by the hanging weight. Now the hanging weight is providing the force, of course, that's going to get the cart going. And the amount of weight that that thing makes is definitely proportional to its mass. But it's important to remember that the law of inertia says that that all of the mass in the problem has inertia. In other words, just because this hanging weight here, this hanging mass, is the one that's generating the weight and making the force that accelerates the system, just because that's what it's doing, doesn't mean that that weight doesn't contribute inertia to the system, which it does. So this is sort of a little thing that I like to teach my students. It's the difference, in physics we make a distinction between inertial mass and gravitational mass. Now, these are the same thing. Mass is mass, but the point would be that it's a different way of looking at the behavior of mass in a system. And for our hanging mass, both the inertial and the gravitational mass is relevant. For the weights that are on the car itself, it's really just the inertial mass that we care about in this case. And that's all.